Mr. Speaker, sir, today I take the floor to provide this august House with an update of Fiji's ocean commitments, governance, and conservation efforts. Our ocean has shaped our national identity and culture, and it remains central to our economy and the livelihoods of our people. It also underpins the stability of our planet and future generations. At the outset, I wish to sincerely thank the Honourable Prime Minister for his steadfast leadership at the domestic, regional and international levels. As the Pacific political champion for ocean, the Honourable Prime Minister has remained an unwavering voice for the Pacific in global forums. Mr. Speaker, sir, like other Pacific nations, Fiji weaves traditional knowledge, national policies and international collaboration to strengthen ocean governance. As stewards of this vast and scarred realm, we bear a shared responsibility to ensure its health and resilience for generations to come. Allow me to provide a brief overview of our progress in advancing governance and protection of our oceans and its resources. Honourable Speaker, sir, we are currently undertaking a midterm review of our national ocean policy. This review will ensure the policy evolves with our national priorities, global developments and commitments, refining its clarity, intent and effectiveness to sustainably manage our ocean resources. The commencement of Part 13 of the Climate Change Act, titled Oceans and Climate Change, provides the legal mandate for the National Ocean Policy and empowers the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change to coordinate national efforts to protect our oceans. This is a significant step forward, demonstrating Fiji's maturity and leadership on ocean governance. Mr. Speaker, sir, one of our key priorities is progress towards achieving Fiji's 30 by 30 commitment to ocean protection. I understand, Honourable Speaker, sir, this is also a question listed in today's order paper, and that is question 57. I will be asked by the Honourable Royal House, but I will be comprehensively covering that question in this statement too. Fiji first made a marine protected areas commitment in 2005 as the Small Island Development States Conference in Mauritius. Fiji affirmed its leadership role in maritime conservation in the region by being the first Pacific nation to set a national quantified target. This commitment was reiterated by a SEEDS conference in Samoa in 2014, as well as reaffirmed at the 2017 and 2022 United Nations Oceans Conference. This commitment has been further articulated and clarified in the National Development Plan 2025 to 2029 and the Vision 2050, recognizing the major importance of ensuring we manage our marine resources in ways that support rather than harm their productivity and sustainability. As custodians of some of the most incredible marine ecosystems on the planet, we know the importance of this contribution to future generations of Fiji and beyond. This needs to be considered an investment rather than a sacrifice. The returns on this investment go far beyond economic alone, and together we can bring to fruition this holistic value. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, implementing our 30 by 30 commitment requires a unified approach and one that is grounded in the interest of not just our generations, but those yet to come. It cannot be achieved by any single ministry or government alone. True success demands collaboration and ambition between government agencies, industry, conservation organizations, development partners, local communities, and most importantly, our natural resource owners. I particularly acknowledge the ongoing close collaboration between the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change and the Ministry of Fisheries and Forestry, which remains central to these efforts. Indeed, without these perspectives, we cannot truly understand the potential benefit or the implications of different development, use, and the conservation options. Fiji's designation of its 30 by 30 MPA is guided by the best available science to identify specific marine areas that are to be protected through robust management measures to achieve long-term sustainability of Fiji's maritime biological diversity. Mr. Speaker, sir, since 2005, Fiji government through the Ministry of Fisheries has undertaken key initiatives to advance this goal, including one, the collation of scientific information to identify key biodiversity areas that need protection. Two, development and implementation of science-based decisions regarding sustainable use of marine resources. Three, robust governance framework and legislation to ensure that enforcement of legal provisions are met and safeguard marine biodiversity. Four, setting up of designated marine protected areas and reserves to boost species recruitment and population. And five, ensuring that there are limits set for licenses issued and quota set for commercial species being targeted. Through multi-stakeholder engagement, government achievement towards 30 by 30 include one, the designation of no-take areas which are of significant importance to overall biodiversity, such as the Naingoro Marine Reserve and the Kiwa Marine Reserve. These are two areas known for rich marine biodiversity and spawning sites. Two, over 400 MPAs or marine managed areas, MMAs, in Fiji are co-managed by resource owners, hotel establishments, civil society, and through government programs. Three, closure of all areas within our 30 nautical mile radius, protecting reef system of Fiji's fisheries waters from all commercial tuna vessels, designated through Offshore Fisheries Management Act of 2012 and its 2014 regulations. Four, 100% control through restrictive measures over all tuna activities within the water column it migrates in. These restrictions include vessel size, gear types, number of hooks, type of hooks, and the mitigation measures to reduce incidental catches of key species such as turtles, rays, sharks, marine mammals, and seabirds. And five, other restrictions, including protection of seamounts, turtle nesting sites, and areas of rich biodiversity. Over the past 6 months, the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change and the Ministry of Fisheries and Forests have collaborated to intensify shared efforts to achieve Fiji's 30 by 30 goal through consultations, planning with the government ministries and key stakeholders. A major milestone has been the National Dialogue on 30 by 30. It was held on the 12th and 13th of March, which brought together a wide range of participants, including scientists, technical experts, conservation organizations, industry representatives, and community leaders, to evaluate progress and chart a way forward that successfully balances economic enhancement, environmental stewardship, and community resilience. The National Dialogue has helped to build consensus and provide inputs that continue to help ensure the MPA designation process can balance stakeholder interests and consider a range of management approaches. Methods considered for different zones range from fully protected, no-take zones to areas where specific marine management requirements apply, and multiple use areas that allow flexibility for different activities. In the coming weeks, we will continue working with the Ministry of Fisheries and our primary stakeholders, especially the fishing industry, to reach consensus on most effective pathway to deliver our 30 by 30 target. By valuing cultural and ecological system that exists between and across the marine areas of Pacific nations, we create connectivity and collaboration that contribute to promoting the long-term peace and security cooperation we seek to build across the region. It is also personifies the collective contribution of the Pacific Blue Continent to planetary stability. The the natural capital economies of scale and that would secure the future of the last healthy blue lung of this planet. The Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, through Blue Prosperity Fiji and other partners, are also in the process of developing this ocean finance mechanism. This mechanism, which will be operationalized in the short to medium term, will help to deploy dedicated and predictable support for the sustainable enhancement of our fishing industry, while also supporting coastal communities and sustainable ocean management practices. Mr. Speaker, sir, the 30 by 30 commitment has earned Fiji international recognition as an example of a bold action to turn ocean protection rhetoric into tangible changes to governance. It has also attracted strong interest from development partners, philanthropic organizations, multilateral climate and ocean funds seeking support our leadership and intent. This has allowed Fiji the ability to tap into emerging ocean finance mechanism, climate adaptation funds, and private sector partnership aimed at marine conservation, sustainable fisheries, and community resilience, bringing both technical assistance and financial resources to support our ocean goals. Mr. Speaker, sir, the upcoming third United Nations Ocean Conference, UNOC 3 in France, this June will serve as the world's largest and most influential platform for advancing ocean action and growing the blue economy. We intend to use this opportunity to announce Fiji's ratification of the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction (BBNJ) Agreement or High Seas Treaty, a milestone that reinforces our global leadership in ocean conservation. By adopting this agreement, Fiji is committing to the collaborative stewardship of global commons, balancing ecological protection with equitable resource use. Fiji will also use this platform to champion the establishment of the Pacific Ocean as the ocean of peace. This reflects the Honourable Prime Minister an integrated vision of peace, security, sustainable development, and climate resilience, which has been welcomed and adopted by Pacific Island leaders. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to highlight Fiji's emerging ocean priorities. One, the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change is leading the development of Blue Economy Framework to guide the sustainable development of our ocean-based economy, ensuring economic prosperity, social equity, and marine ecosystem protection. This initiative is in collaboration with several ministries and partners and will be critical to further our understanding of the cultural, economic, and social investment required to sustain our ocean ecosystems. To further, the Fiji government has submitted a $4 million USD proposal to the Bezos Earth Fund through the Unlocking Blue Pacific Prosperity UBPP initiative. This grant will strengthen our marine protected area network, unlock new finance, and accelerate the delivery of a nature-positive blue economy. Through this funding, we also aim to design a fit-for-purpose financing facility which can scale community-led ocean-based initiative. 3, the Ministry has also made significant progress in developing a comprehensive marine spatial planning framework in partnership with the Blue Prosperity Fiji and UNESCO through the Marine Spatial Planning Global 2.0 project. 4, Fiji is establishing a national ocean accounting system to holistically quantify the true value of the economic, social, and environmental contribution of our oceans. Last month, I had the honor of signing the Oceans Account Pledge in Costa Rica, reinforcing our commitment to advancing ocean accounts by 2030. Furthermore, I am pleased to announce that Fiji's Permanent Secretary for Environment and Climate Change, Dr. Sivandra Michael, has been appointed as a co-facilitator of the UNFCCC Ocean and Climate Change Dialogue 2025 and 2026 alongside Brazil in the incoming COP30 presidency. This appointment will further elevate the ocean climate biodiversity nexus on the international stage. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have also ratified the World Trade Organization WTO agreement on fisheries subsidies, which targets harmful subsidies that deplete fish stocks and supports our fight against illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Another national priority is delineating Fiji's marine boundaries to safeguard our sovereignty, improve marine domain awareness, and enable sustainable marine resource management. Mr. Speaker, sir, as we prepare for UNOC 3, Fiji has established a National Ocean Technical Working Group and an informal UNOC 3 task force to, one, provide inputs into zero draft of the UNOC 3 political declaration, two, validate progress against Fiji's voluntary commitments, three, review national progress for SDG 14, that is life below water, and four, prepare for ocean action panels, where Fiji will champion thematic area 9, and that is, I quote, promoting sustainable food from ocean for poverty eradication and food security, unquote. And five, coordinate side events Fiji will co-host during the conference. At UNOC 3, Fiji will continue pushing for action beyond political declaration towards measurable, impactful outcomes. Our people depend on both our domestic efforts and our international action to secure a healthy, resilient, and productive ocean for generations to come. Let us together uphold our solemn promise to our people of today and the generations to come, to protect the ocean and through it safeguard the spirit of our island nation and the rights of the people in perpetuity. In our level, and I thank you, Mr. Speaker.